Dress for your body type, dress for your body type. Do you even know what your body type is? If you say, oh yeah, I know, I'm slim or I'm thick, just face the wall. Like right now, just face the wall. I'm just kidding. But I've gotten several questions like, tell me, I want to dress well, I want to look good, right? But I don't even know my body type. I don't even know where to start. Well, today we're going to dissect the different body types and how to identify them. And by the end of this video, you're going to know your own body type. So without further ado, let us get right to business. So when it comes to classifying the different body types, we classify them based on body proportions. Let me explain. Four major measurements are used when trying to figure out someone's body type: the shoulders, the bust, the waist, and the hips. Those four body proportions are very important when trying to figure out your body type. So the first thing you must do if you want to figure out your body shape or your body type is to know your measurements, or at least have an idea of what your measurements are. So if you have a tape measure, I want you to measure your shoulders, your bust, your waist, and your hips, then write down what you have measured. You need to take note of the measurements that you've taken. And if you don't know how to take your measurements by yourself, I have a video that I will link up here. In this video, I show you how you can take your measurements by yourself. It is very simple, very straightforward, and you can do it by yourself, trust me. So make sure to watch the video, take your measurements, and then come back to this. Now, if you don't have a tape measure, I want you to wear something that is very fitted on your body, something figure hugging, something that really shows and outlines your body clearly that you can see. So now look at the mirror. You want to look at your body proportions. Which part is the widest? Which part is the smallest? You know, which part is big, which part is small, right? You have to really note that, because that's the information you're going to use to determine your body type. So if you've settled that first part, let's move on to discussing the different body types. So the first body shape we'll talk about is the rectangle shape. So with this body shape, the shoulders, the bust, and the hip measurements are roughly the same. The waist might be slightly narrower than the hips, but it is usually not by much, right? So the waist isn't usually very defined. The silhouette of the rectangle shape is usually straight, right? Because the shoulders, the bust, the hips are all around the same measurement. And like I said, the waist is not defined. So it really has this straight looking type of shape. This body type isn't usually very curvy. A lot of slim people fall into the category of the rectangle body shape. But funny thing is, not only slim people fall into this category. As you can see here, all of these people have different body sizes, but you can clearly see that rectangle shape in all of them. You can see that their shoulders and their hips look closely the same, right? So if you look at it from afar off, you can see that rectangle shape there. So don't think it is just slim people that have the rectangle body shape. You can be a little more on the bigger side and still have a rectangle body shape. It is all based on your measurements. It is all based on your body proportions. Okay, so take note. Now the next body shape will be the inverted triangle shape. So with this body shape, from the inverted triangle analogy, you can tell that the upper part of the body is wider than the lower part of the body. So here, the shoulders or the bust is wider than the hips, right? So that's what gives that inverted triangle shape. For this body shape, the shoulders or the bust are the strongest and the most defining parts of the body. The waist isn't usually defined or very cinched. Here are some examples of people that have the inverted triangle body shape. So looking at these people, you can clearly see that inverted triangle body shape, right? You can see that their shoulders or their bust is wider than their hips. Now the next shape we're going to talk about is the triangle body shape. Now this is obviously the opposite of the inverted triangle shape. So for this shape, the hips are wider than the bust or the shoulders. Now when I say wider, I don't mean you have to be like super hipsy or super big or super heavy in your hip area. But if according to your measurement or according to your view, your hip area is wider and bigger than your bust area, then you fall into the triangle body shape. The hips and the thighs are usually larger than the upper body, right? So the lower area is usually larger and wider than the upper area of the body. So like I said before, you don't have to be super hipsy or super big. So any body size can fall into the triangle body shape, right? It's all dependent on your measurements. That was why I mentioned earlier that you need to know your measurements, or you need to be able to at least see what your body looks like. Okay, now we're moving on to the round or the oval body shape. People that have this body shape usually have a full upper body and a lower body, as opposed to the other body types that we've spoken about before, that maybe the upper part is bigger or the lower part is bigger. For the round body shape, both the upper body and the lower body is a little on the big side. They usually have heavy shoulders and heavy bust. They also usually have heavy thighs and heavy hips as well. And majorly, they have a wide waist. That is the major factor that makes anyone fall into the round or the oval body shape category. They usually don't have a defined waistline, and this is usually their biggest challenge, right? Because they usually struggle to find clothes that will flatter them because of their big waistline. So basically, they have a rounded shape. That's why it's called the round or the oval body shape. Now, the last body shape we'll talk about is the hourglass body shape. Now, this shape is usually the most desired body shape, like that everybody that I know, everybody wants that hourglass body shape. Everybody's trying to achieve that hourglass body shape. So for the hourglass body shape, the bust and the hips are usually around the same thing. Then the waist is very small. The waist is usually very defined. It is that defined waist that usually gives someone that hourglass figure. So sometimes people confuse the triangle body shape for the hourglass body shape, because the triangle body shape usually has wide hips, right, or a wide bum, right? But that's not what the hourglass shape is about. They just assume that simply because someone has wide hips, you have the hourglass body shape. But from what I've already said before, the bust and the hips are usually the same thing. Then you have a defined waist. That's what gives you that hourglass body shape. So any body size can also fall into the hourglass body shape. When I say body size, I mean you can be slim, you can be thick, you can be medium size. That is what I mean by body size. So slim people, you also have slim people that have the hourglass body shape. As long as your bust and your hips are around the same thing, then you have a small waist that is defined. You fall into the hourglass body category. So those are the 5 major body shapes that we have. It is important to know exactly your body shape or your body type, because that is what will guide you in choosing the right clothes that will fit you, the right clothes that will look good on you, the right clothes that would flatter you well. And wearing the right clothes for your body type is literally the best thing you can do if you want to up your fashion game and always look good. So in my next video, we'll be learning how to style the different body shapes, the best kind of clothes that will flatter every single body shape, no matter what body type you fall into. We will be talking about it and talking about the best clothes, the best looks, and the best things that will fit your body type. And I will always source for the prettiest and the finest and the best styles for you, right? So you don't want to miss that video. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you don't miss that video. Also, if you're yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so, like I said, you don't miss the video. And if I did not mention your body type, you can give the specifics of your own body type in the comments, right? And I will talk about it as well. So until then, stay beautiful, love yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.